During that historic meeting between Mr. Trump and Kim Jong-un, the two enjoyed a good deal of privacy inside a hotel on the Sentosa Island. That's just off the coast from the Republic of Singapore. It's on that island. And on the streets of the city, Americans expressed their hope and skepticism about the future. Our News Channel 8 intern, Anna Cook, has this look at what it was like there in Singapore.
From inside the cavernous media center to outside the hotel on Sentosa Island where the summit took place, massive crowds of reporters and onlookers gathered from all over the world, trying to get a glimpse of Donald Trump and Kim Jong-un, including a group of Americans who live in Singapore.
We really just wanted to be a part of this moment in history, and it's funny, I'm actually closer to him now than I've ever been in the United States.
Some Americans on the Asian island, though, are skeptical of what President Trump could bring for the future.
Well, if he's successful, great. I'm not crossing my, we'll see what happens.
An Australian, Ben Richardson, rode his bike to as close as he could get to the meeting early in the morning.
I just want to be a part of this historical moment.
Singapore is an international hub in Southeast Asia, and there are 8,000 American expats living here, as well as 20,000 Koreans. And for those foreign residents here in Singapore, today was a very special day.
I'm so super happy now because we as a Korean expecting is a peace.
Yong-Ho Cook, a Korean who has lived in Singapore for 16 years, says he is confident the summit will finally end the decades of hostilities on the Korean peninsula.
From my father is he is experienced the Korean War. Then we know that is how bitter it was.
As the Korean community hopes for peace to follow the summit, Singapore Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong calling the meeting a huge success. In Singapore, Anna Cook, News Channel 8.
A little about Anna. She's an intern for us here on the afternoon edition. She's in the Medill School of Journalism, the wonderful graduate program at Northwestern University. She's from Singapore. And we suggested, why don't you go over and see what's going on? She got credentials, she went over, and she's covered the thing for us.
Pretty neat.
And did a terrific job,
Pretty
too,
neat.
by the way, too. So.
All right, so the weather, it does...
Our afternoon edition intern, Anna Cook, is in Singapore on assignment for us and the Northwestern University Medill School of Journalism. And she's with us now on the Newsline from Singapore, where, for the record, it is just about 4:20. Anna, either thanks for waking up early or staying up late, whichever it is. You've been there for this whole thing. Talk about a whirlwind. It was in fast, meetings for one day, and then out fast as well. What are your impressions?
Yeah, the meeting definitely went by very fast, faster than expected, as President Trump said himself. And once again, there was very limited access for the media to the meetings. A select number of people were allowed into the summit. And so journalists had their eyes glued onto the live coverage getting broadcasted of the meeting, and just scrutinizing every moment and just action between President Trump and Kim Jong-un, because it was really just a historical moment, and it went by pretty fast.
We were told that there were going to be transcripts, or at the very least sort of outlines of the discussions that went on in private. Have we seen those yet?
President Trump, at the press conference that he had with media after the summit, he said that those should be available and they were recorded, but they haven't been shared with the media yet. The joint statement that the two leaders signed was shared with the media immediately afterwards. But once again, the statement lacked a lot of details about what denuclearization meant and how to verify that. And President Trump also, during the press conference, failed to kind of detail how we would be able to verify denuclearization. But he said he took complete trust in Kim Jong-un's word that he would be able to bring denuclearization on the Korean Peninsula.
Anna, Singapore is your home, and you are there covering this event. What's your sense of the average Singaporean and how they felt about all this? Because the country is very much now in the world spotlight.
Right. Just outside the Capella Hotel where the summit was taking place, there were actually large crowds of local residents there just to get a glimpse of President Trump and Kim Jong-un. Everybody was very much in support of this meeting. People said they were so honored to host such a historic meeting in their home country. And the local paper here, the biggest paper, the Straits Times, and the Prime Minister of Singapore were calling the summit as a success and a crucial step for lasting peace in the region.
Anna Cook, who is covering the summit for us here on the afternoon edition. We sure do appreciate it, Anna. Many thanks.
Thank you.